The standoff between US and Iran is shifting. Ask yourself, what happens when a war built on limits reaches its own limit? History shows that it expands instead of resolving. We seem to be transversing a new phenomenon, a double blockade, which is basically two opposing pressures applied to the same choke point. In theory, a blockade is a tool of control. In practice, it only works under three conditions. Number one side must fully control the area. Number two, the rules must be clear, which means everyone knows what is allowed and what is not. Number three, rules are applied the same way every time. But none of those conditions exist here. Instead, what we have is Iran introducing disruption and uncertainty, and the US stepping in to introduce enforcement and counter pressure. The result? A choke point where everyone is strong enough to disrupt and degrade it, but neither side is strong enough to obtain full control. The US can intercept ships, but can they stop the underlying instability that has now defined this conflict, like proxies, low-level retaliation, or unconventional tactics like drone attacks? This pressure loop has three possible paths. Number one, if the US escalates, it risks widening the conflict. One misstep is enough to set off a broader war. Number two, if Iran escalates, it risks shifting the conflict toward overwhelming retaliation. Number three, if neither side escalates, the risk shifts into the system where the global economy takes the hit. Every path carries a cost and none guarantees a resolution. Let me also reinforce this. There is no clean fourth option. Now, let us consider why this war could expand if care is not taken. A war of limits cannot escalate upward indefinitely. It eventually reaches a ceiling, a threshold beyond which further escalation becomes too costly or too dangerous to sustain. When vertical escalation is constrained, pressure does not disappear. It shifts outward into adjacent systems like third-party economies. Basically, when a war can no longer intensify, it begins to spread. This expansion can draw in external actors who were previously on the bench, particularly as disruptions to supply chains and economic stability begin to bite. Over time, this generates a reluctant consensus that direct intervention is becoming unavoidable, often expressed in the informal realization that we've got to go in and do that thing. The challenge is that this kind of expansion does not simplify the conflict. It tends to push resolution further out of reach. We are living in interesting times. Actually, let me rephrase that. We are living in a dangerous multipolar stagnation trap where neither the superpower nor the rising powers have momentum, but all still have enough capability to compete, or worse, miscalculate. So this conflict in Iran that looks so simple could ignite into something far more uncontrollable. I believe we are living in that season before a major shift, and the reasons are as clear as day. Number one, slow growth is everywhere. Number two, debt is crippling economies. Number three, economics and security are now intertwined. Number four, I have to mention this again, fragmentation of trust. Number five, AI is accelerating inside this convergence as it restructures society. And number six, information saturation is also creating intensity. Only time will tell whether this double blockade will actually work. Much will depend on how Iran responds, how the third-party spectators react, and whether the US ultimately opens the very infrastructure it is now trying to control.